Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out the HGLRC Titan plus F460 GTX 585 combo. It's a mouthful here. Basically it's three boards. You get a Airbus F4 flight controller and a 4-in-1 ESC, which is BLHeli32. It's a 60 amp one, and then you also get the half-size board GTX 585 video transmitter. Comes in this nice little box, and let's see the three boards here like so. It also comes in another combo with just the flight controller and the ESCs. It just looks like this. Basically, it's the same box, just no video transmitter. They also do sell all three of the boards individually if you want to get them individually. I put links to all the SKUs and parts in the description below. Let's go ahead and take all this stuff out and see what we get in this combo. So you get the GTX 585 video transmitter. I believe it uses the tramp protocol again here, and it goes up to 600 milliwatts and has a MMCX connector and some solder connections for your connection to your flight controller. Get a little button and LED on the bottom here. And this is the Airbus flight controller. It's an F4 flight controller. We'll take a closer look at this in a second. And this is the 4-in-1 ESC Dyno Shot 60 amp. So it's 4-in-1 60 amp ESC. We'll take a closer look at this in a second as well. You get a capacitor, 1000 microfarad, 35 volt, pretty big, beefy capacitor. Get an SMA adapter here to MMCX connector, and looks like this is RPSMA. And here are all your nylon standoffs, nuts, and screws for mounting to your frame. And here's your wiring harness to connect the flight controller to the 4-in-1 ESC. There's some documentation on the video transmitter, basically instructions on how to use it. And we have a wiring diagram for the flight controller that is on the actually a little piece of paper on the bottom of the box. And this is the other side of the documentation. It just basically specs on the parts in this combo. Okay, so here's a closer look at the 4-in-1 ESC. It's BLHeli32, so it's 32 ESC. We'll do up to D-Shot 1200, 60 amp continuous, and up to 70 amp burst. It does have a current sensor right here, and it looks like the only way to connect from the ESC to the flight controller is via the connector here. There's no pins or any other solder points, for example, to connect from the ESC to the flight controller. So this is going to be pretty much it right here. That's going to be the only way. And it looks like you have a wire for your current sensor. You have a TXD, that's going to be your telemetry. And I believe it's going to be RPM and voltage. Haven't built this yet, so when I build it, I'll verify that in the build. So stay tuned for a video later on that. And then, of course, to get your signal wires for your four motors. 2, 4, 1, 3. It's in kind of a strange order. Your negative, and then your ground, and then your battery voltage. That's straight battery voltage to your flight controller. And here is the flight controller. Again, here we have the same wiring harness that goes to here. Everything is in reverse, and obviously here looks like you got your current sensor pin there, and then over here it's going to be on RX6. So looks like it's using UART6 receive for the telemetry for your 4-in-1 ESC, and then of course all of the other connections for your motors and your power. It does have a built-in 5 volt 3 amp BEC or voltage regulator. This is an F4 flight controller, and I believe the gyro here is the MPU 6000, so not as sensitive to motor noise and vibrations. Layout of the board seems pretty nice. I like the large solder pads. Got your battery voltage coming in here. If you happen to connect up your LiPo directly here, you can do that. Or if you're using some sort of PDB, this is where you would do that. Something other than the combo board that came with it. And then see your DSMX for your spectrum, PPM. Here you got your S-bus, ground, 5 volts, 3.3 volts for your spectrum receivers. And then all here's for your buzzer and LED. You have TX6, TX1 over here. Interesting. And then RX6 is over here, TX3 is over here, RX3 is over here. You have a pad for your RSSI, that's nice. And then you have your camera and ground and 5 volts over here. Kind of a strange triangle configuration. Interesting. And also, again, another triangle configuration here for the video transmitter. You get your battery voltage, ground, and then your video transmitter signal. And you have a boot button here. And here in the bottom, not a whole lot going on. You got your OSD chip and no other solder points. Just everything's on top, so it's kind of nice. You don't have to flip the board over or anything like that. So this is the side profile. You want to see what the width looks like. Now I noticed something here that the mounting holes, they appear to be an M4 mounting hole, not an M3. So it's kind of strange. They don't include the little, usually if it's an M4 like on the DOS boards, they include the little rubber inserts that will convert it from an M4 to an M3, and it also helps with vibration dampening, but I don't see that included here. And I grabbed one of the M3 standoffs out, and you can see that it just moves around here. So it is an M4 hole. So looks like when you mount this, there's a chance that things could slide around a little bit when you do mount it. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a few things to note when you're putting this together. There is an arrow on the flight controller pointing to the front, and then also the orientation of the 4-in-1 AC. Motor 1 is going to be here, motor 2 is going to be there, so obviously the batteries are going to be pointing out the back. Oh, and by the way, they don't provide any wires or an XT60 connector. You'll have to provide that yourself. But I noticed something that usually on these half boards you want to put them on the front, because usually their frames are going to be sloping downwards like this. And if you do it like this, you can see that you're not going to be able to screw the video transmitter down all the way if you do it like this way, or if you flip it over, this heatsink here with the RF shield gets in the way as well. You can see that doesn't work either. So you could either flip the flight controller around and then orient it backwards, and then you have to change your config in Betaflight configurator to 180 degrees on the yaw axis. That could possibly work, because then you could, obviously this would be the front end. This video transmitter wouldn't get in the way of this connector here. And I'm pretty sure that this connector should be able to reach, because it'll go from here and then you'll run it over the top of the ESC and then out the back. So that's probably what I'll end up doing when I do my build, is just have something like that perhaps. But yeah, there's just a few little quirks here that perhaps they didn't think about ahead of time. I suppose you could also flip the flight controller upside down, but then you lose the advantage of having all the solder stuff on the top, which makes it convenient. So yeah, it would have been better if this connector were underneath instead of on top. So if they redesign that in version 2, that probably would be better for this sort of combo here. That I'll have to figure out something. I'll probably just end up flipping the video transmitter over like this and just have it kind of loose. Yeah, either that or use a little bit bigger standoff here. But that's what it looks like with it partially assembled. I didn't have the rest of the nuts on or the wiring loom, but pretty compact, and it should make for a pretty quick build. Obviously no soldering here between the flight controller and the 4-in-1 ESC. That makes it real easy. Just got to solder some stuff here for the video transmitter, and for me, I'm just going to be putting on a receiver, and that should pretty much do it. I'll have this in a build soon. I have an idea which frame I want to put it in. You'll see it pretty soon. So you'll see this one in action probably in a week or so. Anyway, that's going to do it for this review video of this combo stack from HGLRC. If you're looking for an F4 with an OSD, video transmitter combo, and 32-bit 4-in-1 ESC with a monster 60 amp output, then definitely check this one out. I'll put links to all this stuff in the description below. Anyway guys, I hope this video was helpful, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.